get started with the good stuff, and then those that hop on late, I'll just catch them up when they get here. So one of the questions that I got from, before we even get started there, let me do a quick introduction. If there's anybody here that has never met me before, like this is your first time on the broadcast, welcome, first of all. But my name is Kae Whitaker, and I am a social media marketing strategist for creative entrepreneurs. I help you guys develop systems and strategies, hey Veronica, that help you to earn revenue online. I've been doing this now, building my own business for about 4 years now online, and I teach the practices. Event marketing, I love it. And I teach the practices and the systems that I use in my business daily that help me get quantifiable results, upwards of $10,000 a month, weekly, in my private mastermind community, the Social Lab. So when I'm here on Facebook in these public platforms, I am coming here to kind of answer questions that I've gotten about social media, share some insight into what I think about things. Every once in a while we'll get a how-to, but my whole goal when I'm here, whether I am with my social labbers or if I'm here live with you all, is to make sure that the systems that I'm giving you, you can apply to your business and see some type of results. So hey, Joy, how are you? So my goal is never, ever to waste your time. It's always to make sure that when you're here, that we can spend about 30 to 45 minutes together, really getting some stuff that we can apply to our business that will actually see a difference. So today we're going to be talking about a really affordable way that you can plan for your social media. So I've been doing this now for 4 years. So I've used some of every tool that you can think of and imagine. But one of the things that I really like to do when I'm planning my social media is to sit down and really look at what resonates with my audience, one, and then what's been working, and what I should do more of, what time I should post it, the type of content that actually works, whether I should do it in a live video, whether a pre-recorded video might work, whether a simple graphic will work, if I can just post something really quickly into a text post here on Facebook, really sitting down to evaluate what I should be preparing for my audience. I take what I put out very seriously, because my hope is always that it makes some type of difference for you, whether it makes you laugh, makes you smile, makes you think about the way you run your business, challenges some of the behaviors that you have in your business. There's always a goal behind the social media, the content that I put out. And most of the time is to make sure that you guys are being better, and it's not really geared towards selling a product or a service, 80% of the time. So when I'm planning that, I have to have a space where I can really look at everything objectively, and then have something where I can keep it organized. Okay. So if you're anything like me, you're a super planner and you like to be very organized so that things are easy for you. And I like to be that way as well. And most of the people that work with me are that way as well. So one of the things that I've created, and I'm going to share my screen with you all now so you can see it, is a social media content planner. And guys, I created this in Excel. There's nothing really special about it, but when I'm looking at my content planner, there are a couple of things that I want to take in mind as it relates to what I'm going to be doing. So one of the first things is that I post on several different platforms. I can do that because I have been doing this now for a while. I understand SEO. I understand the benefits of being in several different places, and I have systems and tools in place that support me, and a very meticulous content creation strategy, which I'm going to share with you today, that helps me to create content like clockwork, like crazy. And it's not just content that's fluff, it's content that actually makes an impact and drives people to my business. But when I'm doing it, one of the first things that I want to look at is, what platforms am I posting to? Several of you, if not all of you, are probably very simple in your social media strategy. You're probably focusing on just one or two people, one or two platforms, hearts on the screen, if that's correct. More than likely you're looking at Facebook, you're looking at Instagram. So your content planner may not look like this, but I created this because I post in multiple places. I post on Facebook, I post on Twitter, I post on Google+, I post on LinkedIn, I post on Instagram, I post on Pinterest. I post on several of those places. So when I'm posting, I want to make sure that I'm super, super organized and I'm not just scatterbrained and all over the place. So when I get started creating my content, the first thing that I do is map out, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but the first thing that I can do is map out where I'm going to be posting. So I put all of my platforms here, and I've gotten so meticulous about this that I just created a spreadsheet that's got 4 weeks in a row on it. I just copied and pasted it and kind of put it everywhere. And then once I know where I'm posting, then I'm going to go and figure out what time am I going to post to these platforms. So what you're looking at here is a time column, which is the A column, that outlines the time in military time that I'm going to post online. Then I have the platform that I'm going to post on. Then I have the actual content that I'm going to post and create, and I'll show you how I create that in just a second. And then I have the type of content that I'm going to post. So some of the things that kind of guide me in creating my posts is I have a formula. And those of you that have been around with me for a long, long time, y'all know my formula, and you can pop it in the comments if you like. But I have a formula to the type of content that I create. And that formula is that 20% of the time I want to inspire my audience. 20% of the time I want to provide great information. And when I say information, I'm talking about like industry trends, hot topics, latest news, stuff like that. 40, the majority percent of the time. So if I'm posting 5 posts, 1 is going to be inspirational, 1 is going to be informative, 2 are going to be educational, because my goal online is always to educate. And then the last 20% of that last post, and not in that particular order, is going to be to promote whatever service or product that I have. Okay. So according to these categories, I then have the types of content that I'm going to create. I'm either going to do something live. I'm either going to create a graphic post. I'm either going to do a pre-recorded video. I'm either going to just type something that'll go to like my blog post, or I'm just going to put something in text form. So knowing those things and having this kind of guide over here on the right-hand side, it helps me to come in and say, okay, first of all, let's look at the category of stuff that I'm going to do. Now, this might be like anal retentive to some of you all, but for me, because I have a formula, I'll just go in and insert the formula. I'll go, okay, insert, inspire, educate, inform, educate, promote. So that's 5 posts on Twitter, right? I just put the formula in. I hadn't created any content yet. I'm just like, I want to make sure that I stick to my formula. I am that anal about this stuff, okay? And then I'll do it again. So every 5 posts per platform, I'm just following the formula. Just following the formula. And this content strategy starts on Mondays, goes down through every day of the week. So I'll go in and literally, guys, spend about 10 minutes just putting the formula in, just saying, okay, this is the formula that I want to follow. This is the format that I want to follow. This is the categories that I'm going to be posting for the week. And, week by week, it'll change. This also helps me to not be predictable in a sense. Like, of course, those of you that know me well and you kind of follow me, you know that, there's a certain level of you want to have your audience understand what's coming. But for me, this keeps me from being redundant, from you seeing the same thing over and over again. It kind of keeps some spice to the mix, if that makes sense. So yeah, I put it in here and I kind of just follow it. And then once I have the formula inserted, then I'm like, all right, formula's in, we're good. I know what times I'm going to post. Then I'm going to go to Facebook first. Okay. Twitter, I'm not going to too much address in this platform, in this training, because I have a whole nother Twitter training that takes me about 10 minutes to manage Twitter a day. But the first place that I go is Facebook. And I'm like, all right, Facebook, what you got for me for the day? What time do I need to post? Now, these are just standard times in here that I put in here, and I'll show you how to find the times in a second. But the first post of the day is going to be something inspirational according to my content calendar for the week, okay? So if I know that I need something inspirational for the day, I need something educational for the day, I need something informative for the day, this kind of helps me to plan out what I'm going to do. So then I go over here to the content type, and I'm like, all right, if I need something inspirational, what's best suited out of my content types? Because these are my content types. So what's the best suit for something inspirational? Most times for me, it's a graphic post. So I'll go and say, okay, that's a graphic post. If I want to educate, what's the easiest way for me to educate? It's a live broadcast. That's my easiest way to educate. If I'm informing, what am I informing of? Is it something that's latest in the industry? Is it something that's latest that's going on? Is there a new feature or something that's coming out? I might have to do a little bit of research, but at least I can say, okay, I'll either share a link to this, or I'll do like a text post just for something that's informative. For education, again, I might do a link back to my blog, because when I'm really on it and it's not the summertime and my kids aren't home, whatever I post on Facebook in my live broadcast, I immediately go and put it on the blog and share the blog post later on in the day. What product am I promoting today? So when I'm doing promote, I might say Social Lab, or I'll name the physical product that I'm going to promote, and then I'll put how I'm going to promote it. So if I'm doing the Social Lab, then I'll do, okay, I'm going to do a Social Lab graphic for the day. And then if I'm going to inspire again, then I'll come back, depending on what time it is, it'll either be a graphic or a text post. Most of the time, my late inspiration comes out in just a text. So now I've got my spreadsheet kind of outlined, and I know exactly what I'm going to post for the day. So if there is something that I need to research, then I can go and research it, okay? But for inspiration, those of you all that are in the Social Lab, y'all know how I find my inspiration. I go and do a little inspiration research, put in a graphic post, boom. For education, I decide what I'm going to talk about for the week in advance. And I'm just like, okay, what's this broadcast going to be about? So then I'll go and put broadcast title. And then I'll put the title of the broadcast here, right? And then same thing, just following that format. Facebook is done. And then once Facebook is done, I like to do what's called the social media takedown. And basically what the social media takedown is for me is I will take this live broadcast, this right here, and I will say, okay, what did I talk about in that broadcast? And then I will go over to Instagram, and whatever my inspiration is, I'll do same as Facebook. But if I have something educational to post on Instagram as well, I am going to take one of the posts that I do, one of the points that I make in my Facebook Live video, and create a graphic for it, just one point. Most of the time I have like 2 or 3 points when I'm educating. I'll take one point, create a graphic for it, and post it on Instagram and send them back to Facebook to hear the whole broadcast. Now you've got stories. I'll also use the stories to do the same thing, as well as the information. So I actually need to add another content type down here, because most of the time when I'm informing on Instagram, it's via a story, okay? And then from there, that's not Instagram, that's LinkedIn. Let's go back here. Facebook bullet point, and then a story here, talking about something that I did on Facebook, okay? And then from there, I kind of just go in and break this Facebook video down. I take my points, I create my graphics, I share them all over the place. But I pretty much follow that format for each and every single day that I'm going to create content. Now, if you're a superstar, you want to be a student, you can literally go through the whole week. I myself will take a couple of days in advance and kind of plan it out. That way I won't be planning today's content today. But if you don't have that type of time, you can look at this, and this literally could take you the matter of 30 minutes to look at in the morning time before you get ready to do whatever it is that you need to do. You can plan out your social content. If Facebook and Instagram are the only platforms that you're going to use, then you go in here, you put out what you need to put out. Then you have the type of content that you're going to create. And then from there, if you need to create a graphic post, head over to Canva, create your graphic post. If you're doing a live broadcast, you know what time you're going to do it already. So you let your audience know what time you're going to be on. If you're going to do something in a link or a text, you can go into something like Hootsuite and schedule it out already, you know. So those things are already done. This also helps me to keep my blog full of content. Every Facebook Live video, well, not every, most of the time, my Facebook Live videos will end up over on my blog and they're good to go, okay? So that's how I kind of plan it out. So I know somebody's probably asking a question. Well, before we go into that, was that helpful? Does that make sense? Hearts on the screen if that makes sense to you. Want to make sure I hadn't lost you before I move on. Boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boo. Y'all good? Okay, great. So yeah, so if that makes sense, then I'm going to go on and show you how I find some of the stuff in here needs a little bit of research. And some of the stuff is like timing and things of that nature. So for me, everything starts with Facebook and then trickles down to my other platforms, right? So if I know that I need to figure out what times I'm going to post on Facebook, then I need to go and find out what times are going to be best to post on Facebook. And the way that I do that, I've got two ways that I do it now. And I am going to share my browser with you so I can see. Okay, so first way that I go for free, if you want to do this for free, the first way that I go and find out what time is going to be the best time for me to post on Facebook is actually going to be on my Facebook page. This is the free option, okay? So from my Facebook page, you have something called Insights, which is reporting, okay? I will go to my Insights, and then I will go to a little tab that says Posts, okay? In Posts is where you can find what time is going to be the best time for you to create your content. So basically what I'll do is I'll hover over Monday. Today is Monday, and I need to know what times I'm going to post my content. And I am going to see when the greatest amount of people are online, okay? Hoping to scatter my post out at least by an hour or two so they're not back to back, okay? So for me, people start coming online about 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, that's because I have an international audience. So I'm looking at my Insights to see that at about 6 o'clock, I start to see a rise in how many people are on. There's a quick dip in the afternoon, and then it goes back up around later in the evening. So for me, looking at my content calendar, I know that I need 5 posts a day for Facebook. That's my goal every day, is to post 5 posts a day. Okay, so if I know that I need 5 posts a day, then I am going to go and find 5 of the most high performing times in my Insights to tell me what time I should post. Okay, so if I see that at 6 o'clock, I've got 2,900 people on. At 7, it jumps to 3,406. Then around 7, between the hour of 7 and 8 o'clock, it's going to be my first post. Okay, and then I'm steadily rising. So I want to separate it by like an hour or so. So I know that between 9 and 10 would be my second post. I'm still rising. 10 o'clock, it's got 4117. So I'd probably do like a 7 and 10. That's post number 2. And then I'm looking 11 o'clock, 4185. Noon, we're still at 4198. So at noon, we're about to drop off. So I might do another one at 12. That's post number 3. So then I know that I need 2 more posts. So I'm looking, we got a little bit of a dent, but I see that at about 8 o'clock, I got 3131. So at 8 o'clock, I'm probably going to post again. And then I need 1 more post for the day at about 9 o'clock. So I might even do like a 7 o'clock and then a 9 o'clock. That's my 5th post for the day. So now I have my times. Now, if that doesn't work for you and you're like, yeah, that looks okay, but I can't really understand that, no problem. Then you can come over here and say, okay, so I use a tool called Iconosquare for Instagram. Well, great news, Iconosquare, and I don't know if this is available to everybody. I hadn't checked. I have it, but I'm pretty sure it's available to everybody that uses Iconosquare. Iconosquare is running a beta for Facebook to give you Facebook analytics. So when I'm having trouble looking at Facebook, or if I just want an easier way to look at it, I'll come to Iconosquare. This is a paid option, okay? This is not free, but I'll come to Iconosquare and look at engagement. And when I'm looking at engagement, it's also going to tell me at what times of the day I got the most engagement for my post, okay? So on a Monday, and the darker the square, the more engagement you got. So on a Monday, I'm looking for my darkest squares. And on Monday, my darkest square seems to be around 1 o'clock. So that's when I'm going to do my most impactful post, is when my darkest square is present. So it looks at about 11 and 1, look about the same. So I know that my most impactful post or my education post, so I'm going to schedule it for between that time, which is why I come on at 12 o'clock. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing for Tuesday. When it's my darkest square, it's at 4 o'clock. What am I posting on Tuesday, and what is going to have the greatest impact? And I'm kind of going through the day, each and every day, looking for my darkest squares, determining what post is going to be the most impactful for the day. If I need to move some stuff around over here on the content creator, if I need to move some stuff around to make sure that my posts are reaching at the most impactful time, then it's not a problem to do that. You just come over here and switch up the categories by dates, by time, and keep it pushing, okay? You don't have to make it hard. But this keeps me organized. This keeps me in a place where I can say, okay, I know exactly what it is that I'm going to talk about. Even if you don't create the content, you can still go out and plan your week. And every day you just wake up and say, okay, what do I need for the day? And then take about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour to plan out what you need, get a schedule, push it out, show up when you need to show up if it's a live video, and call it a day, okay? That makes sense. Hearts on the screen if that makes sense. That's the way that I plan. That's the way that I plan.